Okay, folks, welcome to this week's Fife Property Weekly Update. We are looking at all the properties come onto market last week in the period of, and just let me check that, the 21st of August to the 27th of August, which is yesterday. This will give us a good indication about where we are in terms of supply and demand. It will tell you where you are in terms of the market equilibrium between buyers and sellers, if that's still happening, if there's an oversupply, if there's an undersupply in certain areas, and kind of gives you a good indication about what you should be paying, possibly over the home report, or below the home report value when you're making an offer as a buyer. Okay, so let's talk about some of the numbers this week. Any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer them, possibly live on air if I can get a response, if I can understand what you're asking, and then I could give you a comment live on air. So this is the property market across Fife, what was sold against what was actually listed in that period. So as we can see in the Cooper area, there was 12 properties came onto the market through all the estate agents. 7 properties actually sold in that same period. So you can see there's a oversupply at this point in time. Now, it has been going on for the last 6 weeks, which indicates there's a lot more properties come onto the market than is actually selling. But as you'll see, and I'll talk about the end why that is the case, 12 properties came on to the East Neuk area, 8 properties actually sold, went under offer, 6 in St Andrews, 9. So again, more demand in St Andrews than actual supply that week. Leavenmouth, 16 versus 15, so pretty even Stevens. Good buoyant market in Leavenmouth, especially because of the train station coming along, but also good price point as well, and affordability for that area in Fife itself, especially a coastal town. Dunfermline 64 versus 57. Glenorchy 13 versus 17. There you go. Glenorchy 13 came on the market, 17 under offer and sold. So more selling than actually coming onto the market. Kirkcaldy 37 versus 23. Kirkcaldy and Dunfermline, again, a wee bit more oversupply, but I think that's a lot to do with the number of new builds getting built in the area, because these numbers do not take into account the number of new builds being sold at the Persimmon developments and Barrett developments as well. These are difficult numbers to get because they often don't share that information, and this is the information from Rightmove, which is what most estate agents will use when using that, so that's why we can collate all that information together. Overall, in the marketplace itself, available for sale at this point in time, right now, there's 726 properties right across Fife up for sale at this moment in time available. Now, take that back 2 or 3 months ago, there's 550. So there's been a huge jump in the number of properties that actually came onto the market in terms of oversupply. But you can still see there, normally it's around about 120 actually sold in the period. So we're sitting at 120, 136 here. So it still tells you there's a lot more properties getting sold than the actual average it was before. It just means there's a lot more properties coming on. Now, I do think that's got a lot to do with. It's a lot to do with the number. Just let me correct that. It's a lot to do with the number of properties actually coming onto the market, and now people are actually seeing for themselves. See that 160 in the areas. There's more coming on. It's been a stalemate for quite a while in the property market. We did a show on it maybe 2 or 3 months back about the fact that, you know, it's the typical one about, well, I'm not going to put my house in the market until I find the right house I'm looking for. And it was actually trying to encourage people to say that if you don't put your house on the market until you find the one you're looking for, then what do you think everybody else is doing? And we seem to see this now coming through. So now this huge amount of properties coming onto the market over and above what's actually been sold is actually beginning to happen. And as people are beginning to see more and more properties which they would like, possibly their dream home, they're now becoming the realization that I better get my house on the market. Tide's turning as well. You can see the economy and the economic forecasts. There's no doubt we're not going to hide the elephant in the room here. 80% hike in energy costs on the cap, which will mean a lot to people in their pockets, which means possibly they might not be able to afford the mortgage they thought before, which could be an implication as well, which could actually slow down the market a bit. So I predict, really, at this point in time, we've moved from a 90% sellers market, 10% buyers market, to roughly about 60-40 in terms of where we are. I think it will come down to an equilibrium soon if this continues to go like that, but we'll see what happens as it goes. Okay, let's take a look at what's been sold. This is actually quite a good one. Now, why did I tell you what the ones that have been sold with us? Well, the reason I tell you that is because it gives you a good indication about what prices are, what type of properties and what prices they're going for. And it will give you an idea about what your property is roundabout worth if you have a similar type of property in that area. It's not going to apply to anyone, everyone, and anyone, but what you can do as well, we have the instant valuation tool on this post. You can click on that link and a 30-second instant valuation you can get. It is extremely accurate for a lot of the properties. It's more accurate than Zoopla because I've tested it. A lot of people have been using Zoopla recently and they've not been getting the valuations expected. So we've actually been correcting that, whether it's actually higher or lower. But we've always found our instant valuation tool is actually almost spot on, if not exactly right to a degree. So if you want a valuation of your property instantly without speaking to anybody at all, don't need to speak to anybody, don't need to say anything to anybody, just go onto the tool here, the link on here, and actually click on the link for the instant valuation tool at the very bottom, and you can get an instant valuation. It will give you 3 different types: first class property, ready to move in, mint condition; middle, ready to move in, maybe need to do the kitchen, bathroom as you go; bottom, need to do a wee bit of work, move in, and then change things as you go as well: decoration, carpets, bathrooms, and kitchens. So that's the 3 different types of valuations. It also gives you, for investors or for landlords or possibly for tenants, to check their rent levels. It gives you the rent levels as well for that type of property as well. So if you're a tenant, you could put the information in for the address that you're at, and you can get the rent level for that as well, where it should be in terms of where you are actually right now. Okay, so it's a good comparison. So let me talk about the ones that are sold, just so I can come back to that. Here we go. So this is Warwick Close in Lucars. This was a 3-bedroom terraced house. Now this was on at offers over 160,000, and that is now actually sold. So and it was, I would err on the side of most of these properties sold for more than home report value, and the offers over values tends to be for us as the home report value. So this was listed at offers over 160,000, and it is now actually sold. 3-bedroom terraced house in Lucars at Warwick Close. Mavis Bank in Buckhaven. This was a 2-bedroom semi-detached house. It was on at offers over 115,000, and that is now sold as well. That was sold, and the owners are delighted. New buyers are delighted as well. Orchard House in Leven, away in 2 weeks. This is this one right up there on that top, that 1-bedroom right on that top platform there. It was, I'll tell you what, if you saw the pre-portal and the personal property tour, it was amazing views from there. So Orchard House in Leven, this was a 1-bedroom top floor apartment, and this was sold at offers over 100,000. Other people missed out on this one, so if you've got a similar type of property in this building itself, maybe now's the time to sell. Maybe now's the time you think, okay, that's a good price. It might actually give me a lot more options about where I want to go next. Cash Views in Strathmiglo sold in 2 weeks, a 2-bedroom end terrace cottage, and this was listed at offers over 175,000. James Street in Cellar Dyke is now away. This was a 4-bedroom townhouse with a garden and a garage at the back, possible development out the garage at the back as well, and that was sold at offers over offers over 500,000. So this one in Cellar Dyke is actually sold. James Street in Cellar Dyke, a 4-bedroom townhouse, and it was sold at offers over 500,000. It is away. So if you've got properties like this in the Cellar Dyke area, especially James Street, please feel free to contact us. We can give you a good valuation of your property, tell you where you are right now with it, tell you what you need to do, and possibly let you plan for the future. Remember, it's all about getting the facts, not basing it on opinion. Finally, Victoria Road in London Links. This is sold in 2 weeks. This is a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. We had people jumping in on this straight away on pre-portal, asking about this, wanting to view this. It is a beautiful property, and it is away within 2 weeks. It was listed at offers over 350,000. One other person missed out on this. Home report for this was 375,000. So this is a cracking property. If you've got a similar type of property to this one, then we want to hear from you. If it's something you're considering selling, or you're considering getting valued for just to get information to know where you are right now. Everybody needs to know where they are right now. Things are actually changing quite dramatically in the economy. It's good to actually get the facts and the information you really need to make decisions for your future. And this is why we do this right now. Louise, absolutely. I will, if you private message us on this post, if you private message us, so just send that personal message, your contact details, I will get in touch with you with details of the Earls Ferry property, Ely Earls Ferry property, when it actually, if it comes to market, when it is coming to market. Yeah, absolutely, Paul. Baby boomer age will sadly be dying out. Absolutely. A declining population. That is the next. That is the next drama we're probably going to go through later on, because the baby boomer age and the generation X age will actually be getting a lot older, and these are the two huge markets of people who are actually sadly declining, and therefore you really need to replace yourself in order to sustain an economy. So probably the next thing that will come on in the next 10 to 20 years is possibly population decline. And how do we solve that? Because we need people to keep working in order to pay to the infrastructure, in order to keep all the things going, like your council services, like the police, like the hospitals, like the NHS. All these different things need paid for by somewhere. So that's why we continually need people to work. So Victoria Road, other people missed out on that as well. So please feel free to contact us if you need to speak to us. We're going to talk about coming soon just in a minute. I'm going to quickly jump onto things like, we did a show yesterday, Brown But Not Out. This is about keeping your garden lush for viewings in the hot summer. Top tips here, classic tips. In order, if you are selling your house right now, this is the one to tune into. This is the one to get the best value out of. Because if you're selling right now, this is completely appropriate for this type of season in autumn and going into autumn, to maximize the potential for the person that walks through your door as a buyer to get the best price at the end for you. So this is what this is all about. So if that's what you want and you don't want to lose thousands, because that's what a seller can end up doing. If they do it wrong, they could lose thousands in their end result. You need to tune into that show. So you can click on that, you'll see the show, you can listen to the podcast at your own leisure, or you could just read the article. It takes 4 minutes. The other one as well, we did the other day during the midweek show, we did what's the difference between a flat and an apartment. We talked about some of the statistics and what made a fundamental difference. It was quite topical in the fact that, most people in the continent actually live in apartments and flats, and we tend to be quite unique in the fact that the majority of our properties, 75% of them are not flats and apartments. 25% of them in Fife are flats and apartments, but 75% are not. Whereas in the continent, like Spain, 66% are, 63% in Switzerland, 59% in Greece, 56% in Germany. So you can see there's a huge amount of flats and apartments. And we think we've actually given our ideas about why that is the case in here. But a lot of good information in there for you in order to capitalize again on the unique features of your property if you're coming to market. Let's talk about what's coming soon. Okay, I'm going to take a quick sip of tea. Burnside North in Cooper. If you're interested in a 2-bedroom apartment at Burnside North in Cooper, get in touch with us. Send us a message now. Tell us you're interested in that apartment, and we'll put you on the list for when it becomes to a pre-portal stage, and we'll get you more information about the property. Acorn Court in Cellar Dyke, 3-bedroom semi-detached house. So that's a 3-bedroom semi-detached house, Acorn Court in Cellar Dyke. That'll be coming to market as well. Strathearn Park in Cooper, 2-bedroom semi-detached house. That'll be coming on as well. Coldstream Crescent, a cracking 2-bedroom link detached bungalow. Now, I've been in it. It's absolutely beautiful inside. Finished a real high standard. And it's got an integrated garage as well, and a laundry out to the rear. And it also has a wee sunroom out the back, a wee conservatory sunroom. Anfield Mains in Kettle Hill in Cooper, 4-bedroom detached house will be coming on soon. And Haston Park in Balmullo, a 2-bedroom semi-detached house is coming on soon as well. Any of these properties you're actually interested in finding out more information about, message us direct on these posts. You don't need to mention it in the comments. Just put a private message into us through the page that you're on right now, and you can just tell us your contact details and your name and your address and your email, and tell us what property you're interested in, and we'll come back to you and give you more information when it becomes available. So these ones are all signed up. So Burnside North Cooper, Acorn Court and Cellardyke, Stratheven Park and Cooper, Coldstream Crescent and Leven, Anfield, Mains and Kettle Hill, Cooper, and Haston Park and Balmullo. Okay, so over the line this week, keys handed over. This is quite an important point because this tells you how much more than the home report value properties are selling for in certain areas. I've often been asked, how much should I pay more than the home report value for the property I'm actually bidding on right now? This will give you a real good indication about what prices are going for certain types of properties in the particular area you might be interested in. So Hawfield Gardens in Kennoway, 3-bedroom, semi-detached house, that sold in 2 weeks, and it was 5% over the home report value, represented £7,000 extra. One other person missed out on that. So, you know, if you've got a type of property like that in the Hawfield Gardens in Kennoway area, then we'll want to hear from you if you're looking to sell. Anderson Street in Leven, 2-bedroom upper apartment, sold in 2 weeks for 4% over the home report value. It sold for £83,500. Yep, that was a 2-bedroom upper apartment in Leven, selling for £83,500 now. But it went 4% over the home report value. Other people missed out. Again, popular types of properties. Good central locations to the town centre and all amenities right on your doorstep. Easily manageable as well. King Edward Street in Markinch, 1-bedroom upper apartment, and that sold for £80,000. So that's what a 1-bedroom upper apartment in King Edward Street in Markinch is selling for, £80,000. Upper Dalgate Cooper, 2-bedroom semi-detached house, sold in 2 weeks for 12% over the home report value. So it sold for £184,000. That's a 2-bedroom semi-detached house in Upper Dalgate and Cooper, £184,000 that's achieving now. Other people missed out on that property. So if you've got a property in that area, please feel free to contact us direct. King Street in St Andrews, 2-bedroom ground floor apartment. It sold in 1 month for 13% over the home report value. It represented £264,000. That was a 2-bedroom ground floor apartment in St Andrews in King Street is now selling for £264,000. Other people missed out on this property, so again, it gives you a good indication about what these properties are going for. And as I said, it went for 13% over the home report value. Roger Street, Cellardyke is now over the line, 5-bedroom terrace house. It sold for 12.5% over the home report value, which represented £450,000. That was Roger Street in Cellardyke, 5-bedroom terrace house, sold for 12.5% over the home report value, which equaled £450,000. It was £50,000 extra over and above home report value itself. And that's the keys handed over. So hopefully that'll give you a good indication about what they are going for in that area. Just let me recap a couple of things. Fife Property's TV special we did recently. It was Neil Bird from Cara Mortgages. It was Andrea was on as well, asking particular questions for her children as well, because they are an age that they're getting mortgages and trying to work out what mortgage is what. Particularly asked Neil Bird from Cara Mortgages to come on to talk about the Lift scheme, which is a support scheme by the Scottish Government, which helps people, first-time buyers, and I think possibly second homeowners as well, possibly. I'm not really sure, but Neil will tell you more in this show that we did with him. So that link is on there to the show and the podcast, so you can listen to that to your heart's content. Loads and loads of questions were asked there. We put Neil through the grill, through the motions, and we asked him every single question we could ask, even the questions which you thought you wouldn't ask or forgot to ask. We managed to ask Neil that as well. So all the different things about the mortgages and where we're going with mortgages and what the prediction is for mortgages, and do we get 95% mortgages now? Can we get 90% mortgages? Do we actually pay any more money? Do we actually need to declare our earnings now for mortgages? How much more can we borrow in a mortgage? What percentage or what multiplier can we borrow in a mortgage as well? Neil answered all these questions in our mortgage TV special during the week. The link is on this post to that. Please feel free to click on it. You'll see the show. You can listen to the podcast at your own leisure. Finally, I'll just recap and I'll finish off right here. I am doing with Richard, we are doing our wealth creation show tomorrow. We are going to talk about how inflation will impact on your investments. So how does inflation impact on your investments? We're going to be going through things like the cash in the bank, your shares, your pensions, your bonds, your property investments. We're going to be talking about how that will affect each type of investment and what you should be looking for in the future to look at the best opportunities for maybe the markets that you should be looking for yourself. Now, what I would say to that is we are not financial advisors. This is based on my personal experience over the last 30 years. I've been an investor, and I'm just telling you what I've learned over the years and how I've learned and how I've become so successful at investing. I once said, someone actually once said to me, far more successful than me, you know, Jim, success leaves clues. What do you mean by that? He says, well, the people that have gone before you have actually done what you want to do. So all you need to do is listen to what they've done, if they'll tell you. And you will actually be able to pick up clues about what they've done. And if you can replicate that, then you will ultimately be successful as well. I thought, wait a minute, that just sounds too easy. The problem is, it is. And the other problem is, you don't need to do it. That's the thing. You don't need to do it. You don't need to listen to other people. You can make it difficult on yourself, or you could just listen to the people that have done it before and actually just follow their pattern and their success, and just take out what you need from that and learn from that and actually improve on that as well. And that will help you as well. So that's all it is. Just me sharing my knowledge and my wealth and my development in terms of how I got what I got. And other people as well I've learned from. Have been far more successful than me over the years. So that's why our wealth creation shows are run every Monday at 12:30. So Richard and I, again, as I said, we'll be talking about how does inflation impact on your investments tomorrow at 12:30. Tune into that. The links are on this post. Will be on our YouTube channel. We'll be on my personal Facebook channel, and we'll be also on my public profile Facebook channel as well. We will share it onto the office pages, but it's really just a personal thing for me, the Wealth Creation Show. It is, you know, technically it's not a Fife Properties thing, but I do talk about it quite a lot in Fife Properties and invite people to tune in, listen in, ask questions, and find out more about what's going on and how it could help them. As ever, guys, the playlist is on there to all the previous Wealth Creation shows. We did a cracking one on the how to beat the cost of living crisis, and that is so appropriate today. With utilities going up 80%. I demonstrated clearly that you could save up to £1,500 a month on currently what you're doing right now. I even told people how to get another raise out of your boss, and they wouldn't be able to say no. And I can elaborate that a bit more tomorrow if you do want me to do that, if you listen into it. But there's a great show on there about how to beat the cost of living crisis. You might not get the full savings out of that £1,500 that I talked about, but you'll certainly maybe pick up one or two things which will actually help you on your way and help you save money or make money. And that's the whole point of these shows. Okay, and until tomorrow, guys, at 12:30, bye-bye from me.